The top story today is about the app called the T on Her, which was recently created as a counter to the app called the T. Now, in case if you weren't following this drama, a while back, women, though it was a man who created it, but women started using this app called T, where they together get to bash men that they went out with and didn't like for some reason. And some of it is reasonable, and of course a lot of it is gaslighting and just complete shit. This is what it looks like. If you're on a dating app or been on one in the last few years, you probably somewhere there. Of course you had to actually go out with one of them, but even if you said something in the chat that she didn't like, it was probably posted there. Now, the men have created the sort of the here's another screenshot of the original one. The men have created the app called the T on Her, which is essentially a mirror of that. In Cosmopolitan magazine was not very happy about it, as you can see, which I do have to say that we don't need this app, and we'll go over why. This is what kind of this app looks like here, where you can again look at upload someone's picture, and then they will find it in his database, and then there will be comments from men, or in the case of the original app, from women. What's going on. Now, this week, TechCrunch published an article that app was also hacked, and therefore everybody who was a user got exposed. Now, this is pretty much a mirror reflection of what happened to the original T app that was hacked a few weeks ago. And like I said, the victims weren't really the men on that app, because you could just sign up for that app and enjoy the bashing. But it was the women, their selfies and their chats and all of their gaslighting was exposed for everybody to see. So that was kind of an ironic turn of events. And now it happened to men. Now, you're probably asking, Alex, I didn't know about this. I'm pretty worried about this app. What if I'm in there? Listen, you probably are. Unless you had no matches or no conversations, it didn't go out. But here's the reason why you shouldn't worry, because any woman who joins an app like this and has other miserable, lonely women help you date by talking shit about men, probably is not marriage material at the very least, right? And also, don't forget, this app is essentially Yelp or Google reviews on men. When you go to a restaurant and you're still stupid enough to go to Yelp or Google reviews and see what do the other people think of the sushi here, you're not doing it right. Because when you look at other people's reviews, they're most of the time just based on their taste. Oh, I thought the salmon wasn't fresh enough. Well, your taste buds are off, or you don't know what a good sushi tastes like because you've never been to Japan. Oh, I hated the service. Yeah, okay, maybe one waitress had a bad day that 3 months ago, but if you come in now, she doesn't even work there anymore, and there's a much better waiter in a better mood there. So this is why none of this really matters, right? If a woman gets on this app and says, "Oh, I'm not going to date that guy because this other girl did not like, what he said to her 3 months ago," these are then not dateable women. Now, by the way, a good woman would just know what a good man is because she's been conditioned to figure it out by herself, by her father, or any other strong male, positive male figure in her life. She doesn't need other losers, other women, to bitch and complain about these men. And let me just show you a very, very sober observation about really why. And this is from another Modern Women. So let's listen in, because she is 100% right on the money.
Two things I've learned while snooping on the T app with little to no explanation. Number one, the majority of you are on there not because you care, but because you are there to compete. Number two, these men look exactly like what they would have done.
Yeah, that's right. I know that video gets cut off, but she's right. Those men who these women are complaining about, you don't need to go to this app to figure out that they're not really good men. Just like with women, you don't need other men telling on other women for you to figure out, oh, this girl who's covered in tattoos with a nose ring and a red hair and who demanded that I buy her dinner right away and refused the first coffee date, oh, I shouldn't be dating her, really? If you're that kind of an idiot, nothing's going to help you. Not other men's, not the apps or whatever. If you don't know what a good woman is, nothing's going to help you. As a matter of fact, getting advice, especially when it comes to women, right? The worst advice a single woman is going to get is from another woman. And we see it over and over and over again. I feature these videos all the time on social media. By the way, we have one coming up in the Delulu of the Week segment. By the way, I have 5 different segments, right? Monday, Tuesday, the Real Man of the Week, the Lulu of the Week, her question of the week, and all that stuff. The easiest videos to find is for today's segment, the Delulu of the Week, because of how delusional women are, because they're listening to advice of other delusional, lonely, and desperate women. And sometimes not desperate, just who don't know what a good man is. So your profile is probably somewhere in a T app. Now, hopefully, more women now going to be afraid of using it, but you don't have to worry about it. You know what? You don't have to worry about it. It's like, when a 5-star restaurants, Michelin-rated restaurants, they don't give a shit what you say about them in Yelp reviews or Google reviews or whatever, because people who go to those restaurants are not going to listen to anybody who shows up there and then submits a negative Yelp review. Oh, I went to this 5-star restaurant and I hated it. Legit people who go to 5-star restaurants don't have fucking time to bash 5-star restaurants. Okay, so don't you worry. But I thought this was an interesting story because this happened before I started covering the news, which I do now every day. And it was definitely worth mentioning because this is something that's going to happen over and over again. And by the way, this T app was based on what's still happening on Facebook, where I think it's called "Are We Dating the Same Guy?" So that those Facebook groups were created originally to see if a girl starts dating a guy and she wants to see if he already is in a relationship. Now, again, it's not that hard to tell. Cheaters are not that hard to tell apart. But okay, I get it. But of course, nothing good, ever is lost on modern women that will turn into something shitty. So those Facebook groups are now just bashing men and basically saying, oh, this guy. Now, don't get me wrong. There's tons of men who do shitty things, like ghost women or don't show up to dates and all of that stuff, in much less numbers than women do it to men. But nevertheless, that's not good. But I got to tell you, I'm almost never surprised when a girl stands me up for a date. Like, the signs are always there. This is why I always have my first dates at the same place, which is across the street at the coffee shop to which I bring my laptop and just sit there and work. If the girl shows up, great, no problem. At the end of the successful date, I'm going to be bringing my laptop and the girl back to my condo anyway. But if she doesn't show up, that is part of my daily routine. I've lost nothing. And especially when a girl is running late. Now, in America, there's absolutely no excuse for that, unless you live in a city like New York and so forth, where traffic isn't predictable like it is here in Bangkok. But other than that, you get up and leave. Or you tell girl, just don't even bother showing up if you're more than 10 minutes late without a warning, right? So that's the story of the week. If you want to ditch modern women and move abroad for more traditional relationships, go to themillionmanproject.com, take my most comprehensive course, and change your life.